Good afternoon, Cary here from Big Girls Craftinge, here an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the United Kingdom. I'm hoping you're okay. Sorry, I was just checking to see if my laptop was indicating that anything was happening, but I'm not sure it is, so maybe it's not live, I don't know. If you are watching and can let me know, I'd really appreciate it. It looks like there are at least 2 people who can see me because they've just popped up in the little top corner. Okay, well, happy Bank Holiday Monday here in the UK, and hope everybody's had a good weekend. Whatever you were doing, I hope you did it well. Okay, right. Enough about me. Let's crack on with what we really want to play with, and that's the goodies. Hi Cheryl, hi Andrea. Okay, let me switch you around. Hope you don't get too squiffy as I'm doing it. I do have a new light and I'm just kind of playing with it to see if it will cast too much shadow or if it will light anything up or be useful or not. We'll see. Oh, I think that's putting things in. No, I don't know. Anyway, this is the stamp set I was asked to play with. I don't remember exactly who asked me to, but it stuck in my head that they'd asked about this stamp set. Hi Judy, hi Mummy. So what is it? It's a single large stamp called Countryside Corners. And it has no sentiments and no images as such, just lots of dots and lines. So what do we do with it? Well, the first thing you're going to say is cut it out. And of course, we have the coordinating Countryside Corner dies, which do exactly that. So that's what I thought we'd do today, is keep it simple. We're going to stamp and heat emboss this image, and then we're going to line up and use the dies to cut them out, and we're going to make a twofer, 2 cards for the price of 1. I've also brought out the coordinating, there is a pattern paper that goes with this, let me tell you, that is gorgeous, but we're not going to look at it today because I think I'm going to use it for another week's project somewhere. This is the embossing folder that goes with it. It's called Countryside Blossoms. Oh, let me just see if I can get the packet open, that would be helpful. You can see the pattern there, and there it is. It's rather lovely. So we may use this, we may not. We're going to put that to one side. We're definitely going to use the dies, but I am going to move them out the way for the moment because I'm going to concentrate on this stamp. Now, this is a big stamp. Now, if you have a Stamparatus or another form of stamping platform, I would highly recommend that. Had a great time this weekend here in the US watching the coronation in my nightgown with your bone china thistle teacup and British breakfast tea. Oh, Deanne, lovely. I watched it too. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have to say, I do think that as a nation, we Brits do it well. We do a good pomp and circumstance. And pageantry is our thing, really, isn't it? So, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, even if it rained, yes, it was a typical British weather. So, back to this large stamp. You could use a large block, 2-hand job for most of us, because most of us don't have hands big enough to hold it. You could use your Stamparatus or your embossing, your stamping platform, or you can use your stamp case and you can stick your stamp on there. You can put your ink on there, put the paper on top, and then rub all over it. So for today, I'm actually going to get my Stamparatus out because I'm going to do it twice. So let me get my platform out I have got my Stampin' Buddy, which is a pressure tool for the platform. It is very handy dandy. Lots of people make them and sell them, and there are lots of heat embossing brain now in my brain now. Lots of places sell different types of platforms. So I'm going to take that platform out, that mat out, and I'm going to clean that a bit because it's a bit dusty. I'm going to grab a piece of the grid paper because I do like to use something that's not going to slip and slide. There we go. So, first things first, I have 2 pieces of card paper. You got the sweet first thing. Good choices. The paper is just gorgeous, but I wanted to do something different with it today. So I'm hoping you can all see this. Okay, so I have a black mat and a white mat. I'm going to start with the white, and I'm going to place my cardstock. I always count off the grid lines because sometimes, particularly with a stamp that's this large, getting it so that the magnets don't get in the way can be tricky. It also helps when I'm lining up and I'm going to do multiples. I'm going to do it on the black and the white cardstock. So put it down, lift it up. I am going to check that it's okay on there. Looks good to me, and it's going on there. I'm not too panicked if it's wonky because we are going to cut it out. But what I absolutely have to do is use an embossing buddy, an anti-static bag, and wipe all over my cardstock. This is imperative, in my opinion, to get a really good image. So I'm going to take, I'm using Versamark, put it around the right way. It's a, what I call a sticky ink, and I'm going to give it a good covering in this sticky ink. This helps, is what the embossing powder is going to cling to. So here we go. Right, I'm going to place that back in the grid and close it down. I'm going to use my little handy dandy tool to give some nice pressure all across there because it's a large image. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to ink it up again. You don't have to, this is a bit of a belts and braces effect. I just want to make sure that I do this right. So sometimes it's worth taking the time and advantage of a stamp positioner's. One of the best things about a stamp positioner is that you can know that everything's going to go back where it was before. So we've got that there, and we're going to very gently lift that up and bring in, I've lost a piece of scrap paper. Oh dear, I've had a tidy up, and as you know, when you have a tidy up, the first thing that happens is you lose things. And I've lost things. Hang on, I'm just having a little scurry around to see if I can find a piece of scrap paper somewhere. I will find a piece, it's not a problem. Let me just put that there for now. I have no idea what this is, but it will do. Because I'm not going to put ink on it. I'm just going to use my black powder. I've had this for years and years. It does last for a very long time. So I've got white cardstock, basic white cardstock, Versamark ink, and my anti-static bag rubbed all over. Oh, look, can you see? It missed some of it. This is why we use a positioning tool, because I obviously didn't put enough pressure on there. So what am I going to do? Well, the first thing I'm actually going to do is brush all the powder off. Because the wonderful thing about cardstock is it has two sides. It's pretty magic like that. So we get to that. Let's put the powder back in the pot. So I always use a tray, a piece of scrap paper, whatever. Put the lid back on the powder because I have been known to drop them before. Now I'm going to turn this piece over. Simply because some of them are a bit squiffy and I don't like that. So I'm going to go back in 3 across and 3 down because I know that's where I lined it up the first time. And place my magnets back on. Oh, when I can get them up. There we go. And let's emboss this again. You have enough scraps, you just need to find. Yes, I do have lots of scraps. So let's try this again. See, happens to everybody. Never fear. Nothing is ever perfect. Let's go. Okay, let's place that down. Let's try a bit more welly on our platform here. Lift it up. And we're going to ink it up again. And hopefully this time's going to be the charm. Oh, you never know. We might do 3. Because, you know, 3 is the charm. That's what they say, isn't it? 3rd time lucky and all that jazz. I'm going to put some more ink on. Sorry, this is taking a while, but this is real life crafting in real time. So things go wrong and I don't get it right every time, but we usually end up with something nice. Okay. So now let's lift this up carefully. And can you see the shine on there? I don't know if you can. I'm not entirely convinced you can, but I can see that it's shining all over now. So let's place that down. And everybody wish me luck because I forgot to use my buddy. I forgot to use my powder, my anti-static powder. There we go, that's much better. There is a little one there that's a bit stray, so let's just grab that out. I do like to keep a very fine paintbrush to hand for this kind of thing. Now I'm going to put that to one side carefully and place the black embossing powder away, because this time we're going to repeat the process but with white powder on black paper. So it's even more important that I use my buddy on this. So here we go, because every little fleck will stay. So let's go back in. We're going to count 1, 2, 3 across, 1, 2, 3 down, and place it in there. Okay. So basically we're just repeating the process again. And 3 is obviously the charm, so we're going to place 3 sets of powder on embossing ink down. So 1, give it a good rub, make sure it's got some good contact. Oh, I can see that already. I don't know if you can you see it on the screen? I'm not sure. So we're going to ink it up again, and 2, and just like last time we're going to do 3 for luck. Oh, when I can get it to come out. I say you don't need to, but sometimes it's nice to be sure. There we go. Okay, right. that is it for my stamping today. Let me move that to one side. Bring back in my piece of paper and my white embossing powder this time. Let's pour it over. I always pour the whole pot on because I just like... I like making mess, but yes, I like to make sure that I've got everything there. I also flick it from behind to get rid of any loose bits. And I can see here, now this is where you need a steady hand, and I don't have a particularly steady hand. So that could be where an embellishment goes, but that's okay. Now let's pour the powder back in the pot. And pop that away. Now the next part is going to get a bit noisy, so please bear with me as I put my heat tool on, but watch the magic as it changes from powder to enamel. Top tip, heat your tool first. Make sure it's warm, don't touch the end, but you can feel the heat. And then start in one area and work your way methodically over the area to melt the powder. It's alchemy, this is, turning powder to solid. Okay, let's turn that off for a second. Can you see how it's gone shiny? Oh, there's an area there, just there, that's not melted. So back we go. Check it out. Make sure it's done. Be patient, but don't waste too much time doing this. What I mean by that is don't overheat it, because if you overheat it, it can burn the paper and the powder itself will burn and it will go dull and dingy, which isn't what you're after. So here we go again. Bear with the noise. Watch the powder change. Hello, Dee! Let's just check this. Have we got every little bit? Look at the shine on there. I hope you can see it's as shiny as it is for me. Yep, I do believe we have caught it all. Oh, maybe not that middle bit. That centre panel. Let's do that. There, I think that is okay. That's good. Okay, so we'll put those to one side because the next thing we're going to need is our dies back. We're going to bring the dies back in. And what we need to do is lay the dies over the top of there. Now this set of dies, excuse me, let me just have a mouthful of water. Hi, Dee. Now these dies are quite fine and they cut quite neatly to the edge. I hope you can see that. Let me hold that up a minute. Can you see? That's got a narrow board around it, but rather neat. So what I thought I would do, I haven't tried this yet. This is a new thing for me too. I thought I'd bring in some removable tape. Find the end first would be helpful. And I thought I would lay a few strips of sticky side up across my panel. Tuck it under so it holds there, and do the same in the middle and the bottom so that I can keep the dies, because I'm going to try and die cut all of these out at the same time. I know I'm living dangerously. So let's put that to one side. You could use all sorts of tape, low tack tape, you could use washi tape, but I'm using removable tape. I'm getting all sticky now. Let's just move that round a bit. That'll do. That'll do. Oh, stay where you are. That'll do. Now this can slide up and down. So now let me get rid of this because I'm getting in a muddle here. Nothing new there, if you know me. So I'm going to take my first die. I've got the cutting edge pointing up. And the reason I've got the cutting edge pointing up is because I want the tape to go on the back of the die. And that's okay. So ignore the tape. Try and concentrate on getting the dies to line up with the stamped images. That's the important thing, because this cuts out as frames. So when you're happy, I think that's a little wonky, but let's move that over there. Press that down onto the tape. Fingers crossed. Hiya, Lizzie. Oh. Hopefully it will stay in place. That's the aim of the game. So I have got my tongue stuck out as I work, concentrating on getting this layered up. It's worth the effort, I think. I haven't tried, so we're learning this together. I think it will be worth all the effort, because it will mean that I can cut everything out in one go, which could be useful. Now, I'm going to take the final layered die and hope that's right. I am not cutting that piece out. Don't think we need that today. So I'm going to make sure everything is out the way, and I'm going to slide that out, and I'm very carefully going to peel these up on one side and then peel them back off the other. So let's turn them over. You have your tongue out whilst you're watching. I know, it's one of those things that we do as children, isn't it? We concentrate, and look, I have not made that work at all. Oh, that looks better there. A little bit shaky on the hands today, so this might not be working for us. What do we think? I'm going to have to pull this towards me a little bit, sorry. I need to look over the top of it. That bit's okay, but if I've got something slightly squiffy somewhere. That's going to do. You know what? We're just going to try, because, like with most things in this world, if you don't try, you'll never know. So I'm going to have to bring out my big boy. I'm using my cut and emboss machine from Stampin' Up. There are others on the market, but I like this one. So we're going to place that on the plate, tape down, and let's push it through. Hold on tight. Pull that out the way. We'll need that back in a moment. Oh, look at all these layers. How fun are these? Now, I'm not taking tape off the dies because I'm going to do the black and white version as well. Oh, they're not perfect, but they're gonna be fine. So next one up is the black one. Let's see if we can line this one up. Oh, we don't need the white frame. We just need the dies. Okay. This does take a little bit of practice, I would imagine, and a little bit of concentration, which isn't always what I have. Patience or concentration. Sorry, I've got to move this towards me a little bit so I can have at least a chance of getting it right. Okay, that's good enough. It's going through like that. We'll see how it turns out. And yes, my plate is broken, and yes, it still works. I do have a new one waiting in the wings, but it's not completely broken yet. So here we go through again. Oh, don't you just love that noise? Makes me shudder every time. Okay, let's take this piece away. Look at them all coming out. They're so fun. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's put that away. Okay, so as you can see, this will work. You just have to be very patient and perhaps with a little bit more practice than what I've given it today. So we now have a set of nested shapes that have a pattern on them. So what I thought I would do for today's purposes is I would swap them around. So I'm going to put a black inside of the white and a white inside of the black, and so on and so forth, until we have reconstructed it but created it slightly differently. I like this kind of thing. I think the symmetry, not cemetery. I'm not after a cemetery yet, thank you. I like the symmetry of this. So I have a black mat and a white card base and a white mat and a black card base. So my idea was that I would put them on like that. This isn't stuck down, it's not perfect, it's not rough. So actually I'm not going to use the embossing folder because I like the way this is, the clean and simple way of it. But what I will do is take this inner panel, this very small one in the middle, which is more like a label, and I'm going to see if I can find a sentiment to fit in there. I pulled out my Sending Smiles because it has some small sentiments in it, and I'm wondering, I don't know, this is a playtime for me too, if my little happy birthday will, yes, look at that, it fits in there neatly. So we're going to grab our embossing ink and everything again, and we're just going to do a little simple sentiment on there. So put those to one side, grab a block, put my stamp down, put my block on top. Doesn't matter if it's wibbly, but sometimes it helps if it's semi-straight, Cary. There we go. Let's ink it up. And we're going to just put, I can't see under there, sorry. Going to have to move this down towards me so that I stand a chance of getting it in the middle. I'm not sure it is. Oh, it definitely isn't. That's dreadful. So what am I going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get my embossing buddy out again, and I'm going to give it a good powder over so that hopefully it won't pick up the pattern from before. So let's ink that up again. I'm going to have to put my head right over the top of this. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And there's my sentiment. I don't know if that's going to work, but we can try, can't we? And let's do the white one as well. Over the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's get the powders back and the paper. We're going to do this one first. Move the stamp out the way. We're going to put the paper over. I'm going to go like that. Now, can you see the shadow there? So what I'm going to do is very carefully take my brush and dislodge it. Because I put my anti-static powder down, it should brush away quite well. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay because this is just a practice. So there's one sentiment almost done. Put the powder back in. And let's do the black on the white panel. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, I'm not talking because I'm concentrating. Not great for something like today, is it? Now that doesn't look great, does it? Can we make it better? You know what? I think we're going to have to see how that turns out, and if it's too bad, we'll do what we always do. Make it work some way other. Because, you know what? This is only card and paper. I'm not sure about that one at all. In fact, I think I'm going to not do that because I don't like the way that turned out. So in a minute, when I've done the rest of it, I will come back and give that another, stamp it onto another piece of paper and cut it. So I'm just going to brush it off like that. And I think we'll give that one a try and see if that one actually comes out with the heat tool. Sorry about the noise again, gang. Yeah, now that's okay, but it's not my best. So I suspect I will redo those pieces when the time is right. But for now, let's get on with sticking these together. So what I'm going to do is all the white panels on this one, I'm going to pop up and the black ones down. Or should I do it the other way? Shall I pop all the layers flat, or should I put them all up on 3D? Oh, there's so many things you could do with this. Oh, this shape is just amazing, even without the embossing powder on it. Shall I go up white 3D foam, or inset the white and raise up the black layers? I'm going to put the black layers up. So I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to find some 3D foam. I'm going to use my scrappy pieces off the side of packets because they're perfectly sized, in my opinion, for the job. Okay, so let's take that piece off of there. Now, I've got embossing powder everywhere. Oh, I am a messy muppet. Oh, I actually don't want white, do I? I'm using black. I need my black. Did you know Stampin' Up makes black 3D foam? Ha, how handy is that? I'm glad I remembered. Perfect for this job. And I'm going, as you can see, I save all the outside edges to my pieces, and I will use them all up. So let's put some tape 3D foam on here. There we go. Don't need to put it absolutely everywhere, but it is good to get some substantial bits on the outside because we don't want it to fall apart. There we go. Let's have that little scrabbly bit that can go on there. Let's take this piece. I'm going to put 3D foam on all of the pieces before I start layering it up. So bear with, as they say. Have you been crafting this weekend, anybody? Or have you all been enjoying the coronation? Or have some of you poor souls had to work? Here we go. Oh, take your fingers off as well, would be clever. And cut that one. I've done that, so let's put that one on there. See, the advantage to the black layer is it isn't as visible with the black cardstock, which is very clever. So we need just one more. So that's one more piece here. Rubbish. And bring in another strip. See, this is how they come, as little hexagons. But I'm cutting off the outside edges to create strips. And okay, so Deanna's got some ideas going on there about Ohio State University for Block O. Oh, is that shape? Ah, now I would know nothing about that because I don't follow American football or sport in general, actually. I don't like sport particularly. I never have been very sporty, but there we go. Hey ho, let's take these back in. Look how shiny that is. It's funny, isn't it, when you sit? I don't sit under this type of light normally, and it is highlighting lots of things. The new lamp is a present from my sister, and it has a fan built into it. And as a lady of a certain age, I can assure you a fan is essential, but not when you're doing embossing powder. Please, please don't do it, or glitter. It's dangerous. Or gilding flakes. Okay, so let's get our mat lined up on the grid paper and get this down in place. Okay. Trying not to distort the shape, because that's one thing we don't want to do. So next layer is a white layer, so we're going to put that down with some glue. And all the way around. I like to use wet glue. You could use tape. I like wet glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Let's try going horizontal rather than vertical. See if that helps. Somebody said it did help them the other day. Oh, that went in there nice and easily. Let's bring in layer 3, which is the second black one. I'm liking this. I do like black and white. I think it's a very striking combination, and I think this would be suitable for male or female. Again, I'm going to go vertical. Oh, look, I've got a bit of wobble on there. I don't want that, so I'm going to trim that off there for that line, because I don't want that showing. Get back there. Oh, it's still showing. Ah. She did like her horse racing, didn't she? We live near a couple of big horsey places. Sorry, I'm concentrating on trying to get these layers in correctly. We live near Epsom Downs. It's not too far away, and Hicksted if you're into show jumping. A couple of local racetracks, Plumpton and Brighton Racecourse. Quite a few round here. We like our horse sports, obviously. So, let's glue this one in. You must be up quite early, Deanne. And in she goes. Oh. Look at that. I think that's rather nice. You must have been up quite early for the coronation on Saturday. It started quite early here. Well, the coverage started ridiculously early. I didn't get up for that, but the actual ceremonies and the what do we call it? The processions started early, which was absolutely stunning. I so wish I could have been there, but unfortunately I would not have managed to stand for that long. Now that one's gone in a bit wonky, so 5 AM. Wow, you were dedicated. Was it well received in your part of the world? I know that the world's press was there, but did you see, were people interested? So there we have. Look at that. Can you see that? From where I'm sitting, this is amazing. And the first thing it's screaming at me is, you've got to make a shaker card with this. All these layers, you could have different pieces in the different channels. Oh, that's going to be so much fun to do. So let's leave that. I'm not going to put this final one. Oh, yes, I am. I'm going to put that in because I'm going to do my sentiment. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave that out for the time being. But now I'm going to move across. Let's put the lid on there because I now have to get all the ink sorted out. All the panels sorted out. So I want the black ones to go flat and the white ones to go up. So let's do the same again. We're going to put down our 3D foam to give it some height. And I'm cutting my edges as always. And let's get to, that's about right. Don't know if this piece might be a bit too fat. If it is, we can always trim it off. Yeah, that's way too big. So let's just take off those nibbles and they can go on the sides. Waste not, want not. Are you stingy is the word I'd use, but I don't mean it disrespectfully, but do you make the most of your stash? Or are you one of these people that throws it all away? After a very long time of collecting lots and lots of scraps, as Andrea said, this weekend we spent she has spent rather, not I, she has spent quite a lot of time tidying, reorganising and getting rid of a lot of things that we've kept for no real reason other than it was pretty. So it is quite fateful to do that, because we keep a lot of things and never use them because we forget we have them. Andrea did very well. She threw away some DSP. Now that is not her favourite thing to do. She has, well, no, throwing it away. She has put it to sale or regifted it to other people's. So let's put that one there. And we're going to use these and oh look, how annoying. Come on, I broke my nail just before we came on. I don't know about you, but I use my thumbnail a lot for lifting things up and manoeuvring small things, and I feel lost without it. It's very annoying, but hopefully it won't take too long to grow again. All right, final little shape, and then we can crack on with the sentiments and putting the whole cards together. We're going to go for that. Along there. Is that going to show? No, that's okay. I am going to trim out that one for there. Sorry about this. I didn't think this through as a project. Didn't realise it'd be quite so boring for you to sit and watch. But this is real life crafting. This is live and unabridged. And I am running very late.
It's pretty popular. It was fully covered on BBC America, Fox News, CNN, and then popularity here. And NBC all gave it 4 or 5 hours.
Oh wow, you did have a lot of coverage. And what did you think of the prince and princesses? The princes and princess. They were so sweet and so well behaved. I was very glad actually when I saw that Prince Louis had gone after a little while, because for a 5-year-old to sit through such a service so well would have been, well, torture for him, poor little sausage. My grandson's the same age as Prince Louis, and I could not imagine him sitting through that at all. So there we go. Let's place this one down. Yep, that's okay. Now I'm just looking at that, and I think that's a little bit of powder that wasn't heated. So hold tight, please. I've managed to make a boo-boo on there, but okay, I'll live with it. It's all right. It's an opportunity for a gem or an embellishment, or where I'll put the sentiment. Actually, no, I'm going to put the sentiment in the middle. So it'll be an embellishment opportunity at some point. So let's put this down here, inside that space. Gently manoeuvre it so it's equal.
Definitely more interesting to women than men, but my hubby watched most of it because it was history and he loves history as well.
I love history too. My son's 23. he sat and watched it with us as well because he's really interested in the history. He wasn't interested in what they were wearing, obviously, but he did like the service and the symbolism of everything. As did I. So let me get this last one in, and then I'm going to glue this last black layer in for the time being. And then this card is perhaps fiddly, and if you are a perfectionist, it may drive you nuts trying to get it exact, but I promise you it's worth the effort because this is looking absolutely gorgeous in front of me. I am very happy with this. Yes, this would be ideal. You could do this in soft colours, you could do it in silver and gold, you could do all sorts. Red and green for Christmas, all sorts. So we have the black and white and the white and black. Which is your favourite? I'm just going to stick these onto the card bases now. Let's line up our card bases and place that on there. So that is looking very nice to me. And the white onto the black now. I'm not sure which I prefer. What about you guys? Which do you prefer? The white base with the black or the black base with the white? So, okay, let's put that aside for a moment. I'm going to have a quick mouthful of water, excuse me. Oh, it's been a long time. It's been nearly an hour for this. This is very long. Okay, we're going to make some sentiments. I am going to bring some scraps of black and white cardstock. And I'm going to stamp. Before I stamp, I'm going to measure. I'm going to bring in a ruler. Oh. Let's measure this space in here. 5 by 1. My sentiment is just over 5. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to make put some powder on here and on here. Versamark. Oh, line up my I am doing this down the bottom. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to see. But I want to get quite close to the edge of the card. 1, 2, 3. So that I can cut it easily. And again, line that up there and there. 1, 2, 3. Powders. My little paintbrush for the smudges, which of course I've made because I'm on a live. But fortunately, I know you guys won't mind. You won't bear me ill. Okay, let's get the black powder. Had a big long tail and I wasn't expecting. And a little bit more powder. There we go. Let's place this back in the pot. I really must invest in some more. I've only had this about 10 years. No, not that long, about 8 years. Must be nearly out of date, really. Hey ho, here we go. Sorry about the noise again. Here we go. bring in my little faithful old trimmer. Actually, no, I'm going to use my big guillotine, my trimmer rather, not my guillotine, because I want to cut it at 1 centimetre and see if it will fit inside. Look at that. Yes, that will work. Let's trim this off to 1 centimetre as well. I can do the end pieces with my scissors, my snips, but I wouldn't cut a straight edge because I can't cut a straight edge or a circle. So let's get these little pieces to fit inside here. So let's go. Yeah, I'm just going to snip off there. And that's going to be a little bit snippy off. Snip a little bit more off each end. That looks good. That's going to go on that one. No, that one. I nearly got them around the wrong way. So let's put some glue for the base of this one. Now, my sentiment on this one has got to go that way. So let's place that in there. We're going to use a piece of, we need some 3D foam. Let's just have a smidgen of that for that centre. Hi Kay, don't worry love, it's okay, you can catch up. It's nice to see you, I hope you're okay. And there is card number 1. I like that, I think that's nice for male or female. Now this version, this one is a landscape card. Shall we see if we can do this one as a, pop it up and do it that way? What do we think? Oh, I like that. Let me just trim the edge off of there. I'm going to play the game of cutting and trimming, because you can always take off, but you can't add on with paper. As with most things. There. I like that. Haha. Now, do I want to find some more black paper? Oh, where have they gone? I've lost them. Yep, I've lost the black ones. I'm going to stick that onto there flat. Into the centre of that panel. And I'm going to need one of those, maybe, because do we want to place this across the centre like that? Or do we want to go off to one side like that? What do you think? First one who says to the side or in the centre? To the side or in the centre? What would you do? Which way would you do it? In the centre or to the side? Off to the side. I'm going to go with Kay because she was late and she needs to be involved. There's been a lot of your involvement today anyway, because it's not a lot of choices on this. So there we go. I want that edge to line up with that one. Sorry, being a bit pernickety here. There we go. Drop a glue behind there, on there, and hold it down. 1, 2, 3. I just found the black. There we go. So that's it for this week. Sorry it's been such a long one, but you have. I will put pictures up of these two. I hope you like them. I hope that you would consider purchasing this kit, this suite rather, because I do think it is worth it. I'm going to leave that tape on there and fold that into the packaging. So this is the Countryside in stamps and Countryside Corners, sorry, stamps and dies, and they're in the annual catalogue that's just gone live, and I would highly recommend purchasing them because if nothing else, you've got a lot of frames for your shaker cards, you've got a lot of frames for sentiments and panels, because you don't have to cut them all out together. You can, as you've just seen, but you can do them separately. You can make bigger frames. You can make loads and loads and loads of things. It's gonna be great. Anyway, that's more than enough from me. I hope you'll join me next time, which will be next Monday at 4 p.m. British Summer Time. And if you have any ideas of what you'd like me to do, or stamp set you'd like me to share, if I've got it, I'm more than happy to. And if you live in the UK and don't have a demonstrator already, I'd be very happy to help you with a catalogue. So anyway, take care, look after yourselves. Thanks, Judy. Bye-bye.